You're watching Drakewing Gaming. Enjoy the video.
Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. As some of you know me on Twitter, the Gaming Dragon. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Remember the Flowers. So before we jump into it, just wanted to let y'all know that our Patreon is out for as little as $5. Y'all can help support the channel, get some awesome rewards like permanent access to our community Discord server and full access to upcoming Not Safe for Work videos. All that for as little as $5, y'all. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump right back into it, shall we? Alarm Chan, you are up, and let's go. Alrighty. Aaron's voice starts getting a little somber. It was just me and Lance in that little room for a while. I think I was about 14 at the time. We played and talked a lot, but it was still lonely. At the time, it wasn't very common for kids to get adopted. Those that did usually showed some sort of promise. Basically, if you weren't useful in some way, shape, or form, you didn't get to leave. Reggie actually got asked a few times, but said he'd only go if we were able to go with him. In the end, it never worked out. Then, I turned 18. I was finally old enough to work. A nearby factory had a stranglehold on the orphanage. They exploited the small staff of the orphanage to get free laborers. I didn't want to cause a fuss, so I decided to go willingly. Remember how teary-eyed everyone was, especially Lance. Lance wasn't of age yet, but he wouldn't let me leave alone, and insisted he come with me. Aaron manages to chuckle while reminiscing. He was a needy guy, I'll tell you what. Always needed reassurance. Reggie graduated from an intermediate level of education and was on his way to the university. After hearing about us leaving, he decided to drop it all and come back to us. Factory life, well, it didn't work out for me, to say the least. They didn't pay us much and would often delay paying us altogether. They kept pushing us to work. Oftentimes it led to more violent outcomes. I still remember the time they threw a wrench at Lance's face and the beating I gave the supervisor who did it. After a few months, I got the courage to get us all to run away. We ran away as fast and as far as we could. I was bitter. Very bitter. My folks abandoned me. I couldn't find a job, and I barely knew anything. I had to take that anger out on something. Hey, what's wrong? Cyrus, I did a lot of awful things. Things I'm ashamed to admit. I was angry at the world around me. Hurt a lot of people. At first, I made it a point to not attack anyone for no reason, so we only targeted rival gangs. That code of honor didn't last long, though. We'd raid any camps we came across in the desert. There was a lot of bloodshed. Even now I can clearly hear the sound of a bat smacking against a sleeping man's skull. It was efficient and easy. It felt good to get all my anger out on somebody. Anybody. We worked as a team for a while, but I knew deep down I just wanted to raise hell. Eventually our small band of 3 grew bigger and bigger. We'd take in people over time that suited our interest, eventually becoming a respectable desert gang. That's actually how we ended up meeting Karen. We ran into her during one of our raids. Apparently we had our eyes set on the same target. It turned into a competition, more or less, to see who could do the most damage. After everything went down, everyone was pretty much spent for the night. In the end, there was no clear winner. She stuck around after that, and we eventually merged our gangs together. I can't deny that it was an exhilarating time in my life. Aaron sighs louder than I've ever heard. I won't make excuses for myself. I won't even try to sugarcoat it, saying we did what we had to do. We're in a band of thieves who did what we wanted, when we wanted. I'm ashamed to admit it, but that's what we were. Sorry, I prattled on for a while, didn't I? It was eating at me. I wanted you to know who I really am. He's shaking again, just like when we were with Vita when I got my memories back. It takes me a moment to say anything. There's a lot of information to take in all at once. I don't want to disregard everything he's told me, though. So, what changed? What do you mean? You've been the nicest person I've met since I got out of Current. Something must have happened for you to end up like this. Life dealt you a bad hand. I think you have the right to be angry about it. Granted, some things you told me were not good. I put a reassuring hand on his shoulder. He flinches. You feel bad about what you've done? More than you could know. I wish I could just forget it all, but that'd be cowardly. Yeah, it would. But you know what it is? You know what isn't? Admitting that what you were doing was wrong and growing up to be a better person. I mean, for fuck's sake, you were scraping by after the apocalypse, Aaron. Taking out water time. It's not something a lot of people could handle. You say that, but I can still remember it all clear as day. I can't sleep some nights. I just think about it. Have you been keeping this to yourself all this time? Yeah, for the most part. That's only because everyone else knew where I came from. I was worried the most about you finding out. I couldn't live with myself if you started seeing me as some kind of monster. Why would I think that? Because I did. You did bad things, Aaron. You fucked up. But you're trying to atone for that, right? Yes, I am. But I don't think it'll ever be enough. It might not be, but you're trying. That's better than some people I know who have done a lot less. He starts to tremble, and I take that as my cue to give him the best side hug I can. I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for you, Aaron. I hope you know how happy you've made me. I can't see his face, but I can hear him whimper as he tries to return my hug. We sit quietly for a while. Eventually the fire goes out, almost leaving us in the dark. The moon is bright tonight, which gives us enough light to look around. I can see Aaron wipe his face with his bandana after we separate. Man, I thought I couldn't get more pathetic. Don't say that, you're not pathetic at all. You say that, but sometimes I'm not so sure. When push comes to shove, I'll be there to pick you back up. Cyrus. You remind me a lot of Xavier, in a way. That catches me off guard. What do you mean? You asked me earlier that something had to have changed, right? I nod, letting Aaron know I'm going to keep listening. It was a few years after we left the orphanage. We were a bit notorious, I'll tell you what. Sometimes we got a little too brave for our own good. Part of that was leading raids into more developed cities. There's a town to the east of Tinsia called Stein. It wasn't as advanced as Tinsia, but it was pretty close. We decided to raise hell in a place that had never seen it before for no reason other than to prove a point. During our first raid, however, something happened that changed our lives forever. Oh boy. Hey you! Can you hear me? Please help me! Huh? I grunted in the direction of the soft voice. Oh! A small white-haired human jogged up to me. He's gasping for breath. They're absolutely filthy with completely tattered clothes. Must have been desperate if he came to me for help. You shouldn't be here. Don't you know there's a raid going on? That's how I was able to escape. Can you help me out of here? After that, I won't bother you ever again. They lifted their head to look up to me. I thought they were winking at me. One of their eyes was closed. Please, I don't have any money or valuables, but I can pay you back in time, I promise. The more I looked him over, the more I realized just how beat up he was. Hey, Aaron, what the hell are you doing? We got shit to beat in. My second-in-command yelled for me from the other side of the street, pipe in hand. Wait, did you start all this? You have to get out of here. And why's that? Because Resume is stationed here. What? I looked around at the damage we'd done and just how much shit we were in. A small human grabbed my paw, then tried to direct me away. If you don't get out of here, they're going to kill you, please. I'm 6'8" tall. This human couldn't be any taller than 5 feet 10 inches. He was scared of the situation at hand, but fearless of me. I'd never been more confused in my life. Sirens wailed in the distance. The human tried pulling me even harder. Ugh, damn it, Karen, round up everyone. We're getting out of here. Ugh. Alright, y'all. It is water time. We were back at our desert camp for the night, a good few miles south from Stein. I could still see a cloud of smoke coming over the horizon, but I was pretty sure we ran far enough away that they wouldn't be able to find us. Oh, this is his. Do Aaron's was. I tried to do a head count. I was disappointed when I came up short. 5 of us didn't make it out. Their deaths were on my selfish hands. So, do you mind telling me who you are, where you came from? I've never seen a human with white hair before. We're both were treating the person we wound up taking care of. We didn't have a lot of medical supplies, but thankfully most of his wounds seemed to be old. After he took a swig of water, he finally answered. Yes, of course. Thank you for taking me in, by the way. My name's Xavier Soul. I was a resident at Resume. I actually just escaped a couple days ago. Escaped? From a hospital? How much time do you all have? Reggie and Lance looked at each other before looking toward me. I grunted before I got up and sat next to them. Just how much shit have we gotten into? You don't know the half of it. The The human explained all of his experiences over the past 100 or so years. I didn't believe him at first. Given his appearance, however, I eventually gave in. Reggie held his chin and thought. So, the saviors of the land are actually just a public black market? Reggie sighed before he shook his head. Glad I didn't end up working for them after all. You believe me? It's hard not to, particularly with your eye. Xavier held his hand over his closed eye. You have to be pretty committed to pretend to having had your eye harvested. Blood started to boil. Yet another aspect of the world who takes advantage of the vulnerable. I appreciate you looking at it. I haven't been able to clean it since I left. I didn't do much. Honestly, we should get you to a professional if we can. Reggie turned toward me. What do you think? We can't take care of him with what we have currently. We can barely get by as it is. You don't have to tell me that. I'm well aware. You don't have to take care of me. I'll be fine. Xavier got up and then patted his dusty clothes. I'm glad you took me in this direction. I have a contact I've been meaning to meet. He set his sights on the desert wastelands to the east. I just hope they're still waiting for me. With all the commotion, I wouldn't be surprised if they left. Xavier turned back to me and then gave me a small smile. Thank you for rescuing me back there. I'll be forever in your debt. We didn't do anything. Don't get it twisted. If you say so. Oh. I started walking off. I immediately got up and grabbed his hand. Where the fuck are you going? Hey, don't scare me like that. Xavier tried to free their puny hand from my grasp, so I let them go. You're not seriously going off into the desert by yourself, are you? I mean, yeah, I don't want to cause you any more trouble than I already have. I just know Resume will catch up soon. You don't want me around. I pinched the bridge of my snout. No. You're not going to just wander around aimlessly in the desert. You're gonna freeze to death before you find anyone. I'm pretty tough, I'll have you know. Don't worry. Don't be stupid. I sighed lightly as I rubbed my eyes. Just stay with us for the night. You can try to find the people you're looking for tomorrow. You really don't have to. Do not make me repeat myself. Understand? I could tell that struck fear in the human as intended. But I couldn't help feeling a little bad about it. Who are you even looking for? There you go, water time. The human looked at the three of us before he looked at the rest of the camp. What I'm about to tell you is extremely confidential, understand? And the info about Resume wasn't? Yeah, but fuck Resume. Xavier sat back down with Reggie, Lance, and me. You see, I'm trying to meet up with the resistance group. Xavier explained the gravity of the situation at hand to us, along with who broke him out of Resume. He told us that for the past 2 years he's been secretly in contact with a spy who had managed to climb his way up to try to break him out. There was a mishap right at the end, however. The spy got himself killed while Xavier tried to get away. He couldn't make it out of the city without getting caught, so he's been in hiding, waiting for an opportunity to escape. Just happened to be at the right place at the right time. The human started to unravel a bit now that he's had a chance to breathe. If my body let me move right, Grant would still be alive. I'm so damn slow. He shook his head. My life wasn't worth this. Wasn't worth his. Don't diminish his sacrifice by making yourself feel bad. You're disrespecting him. You say that, but I'm sure he just wanted to help you. I mean, he wouldn't have gone through all of that if he didn't, right? I know. Xavier's gaze turned towards me. The one eye widened in surprise. Oh shit, were you shot? I said in a panic, which confused me. What are you going on about? I pointed to my calf. Sure enough, there was a shear in my pants and some blood. Oh, someone must have grazed me on my way out. Didn't even notice. Mr. Reginald, do you have any rubbing alcohol? You don't have to be so formal. What's got you so worked up? You could be infected. Hey, come on, Aaron's the toughest guy I know. Right, Aaron? Oh. I had a feeling they had a relationship. My boyfriend looked up at me earnestly, made me smile bashfully. Shut up, Lance. He's right. I'll be fine. Without being prompted, Xavier tried tearing what little was left of his clothes to make makeshift bandages. He was the kind of guy to put others above himself, even when he was in a bad state. It's not an exaggeration to say that he's the reason I started to believe in hope again. Alright, y'all, I'm going to go ahead and pause it right there. Tired. Thank y'all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell. Leave a super thanks. Your tip if you can, it always helps. Check out that Patreon, y'all. It really helps the channel. Anyway, I love you all. I'll see you on the next video. Bye-bye.